Choosing Chaos, Solo Motherhood by Choice, the podcast for women who are done waiting for the one and ready to become the parent on their own damn terms. We're talking fertility, pregnancy, emotional chaos, and the village that it takes to raise a kid. Sometimes you're crying in the bathtub. Sometimes you're crying because your toddler bit you. And sometimes you cry because you chose all of this. Welcome to motherhood, solo style. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to Choosing Chaos. I am your host, Laura. Sometimes our village doesn't look exactly the way that we had imagined, but that doesn't make it any less powerful. It can take many different forms and show up in ways that we least expect it. And when we find it, it's really important to lean in fully. Fertility is so unpredictable, and the journey can oftentimes feel very uncertain. If you're not getting the answers that you need or don't fully feel supported where you are at, it's okay to make a change. What matters most is finding a place and a provider where you feel comfortable, understood, and truly seen. In today's episode, we are joined by Marquita, who reminds us of the importance of trusting your care team and surrounding yourself with people who can walk alongside you on this journey. Let's dive in. Hello, Marquita. Happy Friday. How are you today?
Friday, doing well, doing well. It's just getting another day down.
Yes, absolutely. We will dive into that a little bit more here in a second. But how are you feeling? How is this pregnancy going? Which is what you were just teasing.
Yes, yeah, no, this pregnancy definitely night and day difference from my first. So,
Really?
I will say, people are like, oh, it's because you have a toddler and you're just more tired, you're this. And I'm like, I really don't believe that. I think it's just a harder pregnancy, like across the board. Yeah, like just a
Really?
little bit more, not complications, but just more testing and checking in. Just, I am now 3 years older than, the last time I gave birth. So overall, baby is healthy.
Good.
She's strong. We have a week and a few days to go. So yeah, it's a challenging, and it's your body is so different. When they say, oh, every pregnancy is different, it's true. It's a true fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but learning again more things, I think, about my body, about babies, about, just the whole process. So it's yeah, it's been good but challenging, but all a blessing at the end of the day, right? So
Right. Yes. Very much
Mhm.
a blessing. How is Big Sister feeling then?
She's feeling good, actually. People are like, oh, get ready. She's gonna be having issues. And I'm just like, positive life person. And she has honestly been so good. Like as I been pulling out all the baby stuff and the baby clothes, and this is for baby sister. And she's like, oh, is this for baby sister? She's all, can I give this to baby sister? And she's very excited. Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're gonna have their quarrels. They're gonna be
Siblings.
sisters. They're gonna fight. She's gonna get mad that, whatever. Like that's gonna happen. But I
Yeah.
think overall, generally, she is accepting.
Yeah.
That there'll be another little human in the house. And even just the other day, like when I had the car seat in, she um it's like, oh, is baby sister gonna be in there? And I'm like, yeah, but so can I buckle her up? Like she wants to be a part of the process. And that's kind of like my narrative with her, that I've been like, you're gonna help me with baby sister. We can do this together versus keeping it separate. She's been great. And she told her teacher, and she gives
Oh,
my belly hugs and kisses, and just comes in for a big snuggle. Yeah,
yes.
so she's been very sweet and just
Oh.
curious. And I think at this point she's like, where is she already? Because
It's
I
been
was like,
forever, Mom.
well, same. It's been a long 9 months. She's like, is she here yet? Where's baby sister? And I'm like, almost there. So, obviously, like she doesn't understand, the whole, it takes a while to make a baby, but yeah,
Right.
so she's very, very sweet. And even like if she kicks me and I'll be like, ow, she's like, oh, did she kick you? And I'm like, yeah. And so it was an accident.
And
Very,
what's the
very.
age gap between the 2?
So they'll be exactly 3 years apart.
Okay, wow.
Because her birthday, my oldest she's turns 3 on the 5th of October. Yeah, so they'll be very close. We'll have some joint birthday parties. I'm very excited for her. I feel like 3 was like, if I didn't get pregnant this year, it probably wasn't going to happen again because I just wanted them to be close. Like I grew up, my sister, I'm 8 years older than my sister. 10 years older than one of my brothers and then 14 years older than my other brother. There was just no closeness, like I was like
Right.
off doing my own thing. So I really, really wanted my kids to be very close in age so they can at least they'll be at school for a little while at the same time, and they can do some things. But I think 3 years is better than a 10-year
Yeah.
gap.
No, that's true. And then
Yeah,
you can kind of get that whole younger phase out of the way, sort of
exactly.
within the same time, but not really like the 3 years in between, but still.
Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't want to have to do this all over again in like 5 years, I'll
10
tell you that.
years. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
also a week and a half, you could go in any time.
Yeah, I mean, as I walked over here to the laptop doing my squats and sitting on my ball and yeah, so it's really go time anytime between now and the 25th. I'll be like, give me just one more day. I'm like, I have one more couple more things to do. Like, hold on,
Right. Are we
Yeah.
ever really just like ready, fully ready though?
I mean, you just have to get ready, right? That's it. So,
Yep. Yep.
stay ready
Exactly.
if you have to get ready, as they say, but you just have to get ready because I could be out walking and don't have my car or whatever, and I have to like adjust. And that's as a mom, as a human, you gotta
Yep.
pivot and make it happen.
So you grew up with your extended family members, and what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's different than your traditional, mom, dad, and household, that nuclear unit. But it was funny. I was actually having a conversation with a friend last week, who um I met their new significant other, and they were like, "Gosh, she just seems so lovely, and just this and that." I'm like, "Ah, thank you." Um, but and I just kind of went into it, and it's like, and they're like, "I can't believe she's like doing this all by herself. She's just this and that, and like she's a catch. Like, why didn't she have anyone?" And it's not even about like the looks and all that stuff. Like, we went into talking about what I was telling her, and I was like, I just always felt I had to do things on my own, like growing up, because I have my parents who technically gave birth and gave me life, but they weren't people I could go to and for guidance and
Yeah.
direction and how should I do this or vent, or they just weren't around in that capacity. And then with the extended family, there is like this layer of like they will tell you so much and give you their own bits and pieces of advice, but it wasn't the mom to daughter, dad to daughter
Bonding.
grounding
Yeah.
and bound that bond. Yes. I was surrounded by lovely role models, I will say, people that are still in my life to this day. And then with the extended family, like I always felt like I would say an outsider because I wasn't truly there or a part of the family, even though I was a part of the family, but not truly there. So I just tended to do what I needed to do for me by myself and
Right.
research. So I feel like that grit in me is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. It's just it's hard to actually articulate and put into full words. It's just think that's where my base of like just going into my own, I had to just do for me all the
Right.
time. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
Which can make it difficult, but you became strong at a young age too. That's how
Yes.
I see it, is
Mhm.
that you were sort of forced to grow up and take care of your own, which could be a whole part of this doing it on your own, right? This choice of making this decision to be a single mom because you're independent.
Yeah, no, it's the independence that was, rooted very young. And you kind of feel like I just had no other option, like I had to, or else I could be far, way worse off, if I didn't do what I did and how I did it. So.
Hmm. So when did you start imagining a family of your own, as you put it, in a nuclear family?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as a young age, especially not growing up with my family, I always like, oh, I want a mom and dad situation. I always wanted a nuclear family. I always wanted 4 kids and always thought I wanted to have boys and like three boys and a girl. Like that was like my ideal thing, and which I laugh now. Oh my God, three boys, I would probably my whole head would be gray. Um, but I just definitely always knew, and I was always like the mom of the group, very motherly. My friends
Yeah.
always say that. So it was always in me, and I think, it wasn't until really the pandemic, 2020, those golden years, that you had all this time to sit with yourself and think
Yeah.
about your life and where have you come and where you had, and at that point in my life, I was really, I mean, work was booming, I was traveling a lot, hanging out with my friends, and like life was just so fun. And then we hit this wall of just being literally four walls rather,
Yeah. By
being
yourself.
yeah,
Mm.
and you're student. Obviously, we're trying to do the Zooms and Zoom fatigue now. I guess pushed me because one, like, what is dating looking like? Like, what we just didn't know how to date, and you were doing online stuff. It was just all weird and awkward, right? Well, I think just sitting with myself in those times, I was like, well, let me just do the base, make sure my ovaries are doing good, and just kind of check in with my fertility. And so, I started, well, a little bit before the pandemic, I started to go in and make sure all the things are good. And I ended up having fibroids, ulcers, and like things that I needed to get removed. I ended up having surgeries and stuff to get all that done, which was kind of like one hand, I wouldn't have known, of like unless I went in, right? Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
when it wasn't like, I mean, I would see my OB maybe once a year, but
But
we
they
didn't
don't scan for that kind of stuff.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that OB actually she actually saw it and said, "Oh, it'll be fine." And I came back, and then it was like way worse. And so
Oh,
I got a new
geez.
OB. Yeah, it was a whole thing. And so I got a new OB, and she's fantastic to this day. I love her. It's like she's my favorite human being. And so,
Oh,
anyway, so she got me right, and she got me all ready. And then I went through that, and you go through that phase of like, okay, right. This is what I want to do. By the time I told myself, if I'm not with someone who I want to have kids with by 35, I'm just going to do it by myself because I don't want to be, no shade to older parents, but I personally didn't want to be 40 or 45 with a newborn. Like, that was just not on my bingo card. So I told myself by 35, have a first kid. Ideally would love to like, meet someone in that, but that's okay. Here we are. That
yeah.
was my, I think, serious thinking during those early COVID. And then I just did the process and went through it. And then, yeah, and I turned 35, 2022.
You went through IUI and IVF during that process, right?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
did do an IUI, went to one clinic first that I will never go back to ever again.
Oh,
And
no. Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind sharing.
yeah, well, that clinic, they're still around. They were a new kind of like swanky, we're the cool clinic, like trying to be just like the cool kids on the block, which I think it lacked the thoroughness that some of these more traditional, older, more experienced places that don't look so glamorous on paper, but they actually have a very high success rate. So,
Exactly.
so I went there and I didn't really know really the whole process, like honestly, like they just didn't really break it down. I knew fragmented pieces from some friends who I know who've done IUIs and, same-sex marriage, things like that, but it wasn't robust in their way of how they were telling us. And so I went in, I did an IUI, and I wasn't like at this point in hindsight, I'm like, I probably wasn't even ovulating when I did it. It was just a waste of money and time. I left that clinic and you learn it, the whole process was a learning trial and error learning lesson. I was disappointed, obviously, but I did two IUIs there. And then when I went to this new clinic, they had ran more tests prior to actually doing, they had like this huge checklist. And I'm like, oh my God, you need to know this, you need to know that, you need to do that. Like another clinic didn't do any of that, right? I do believe at the end of the day, getting pregnant is the stars are aligned and everything. I think coming
Really?
out of all of this, getting pregnant is an absolute miracle. It is truly a miracle because for all the testing, no matter how close you get it down to the science of it, like it still cannot work. And this new clinic, they stress that all the time, every time I went in. And I'm just like, well, am I gonna get pregnant? Like, but they were setting up realistic expectations, which I think really helped because
Yeah.
some women will go in there like, okay, this is gonna happen. We got all our ducks in a row. We got it all this, like this just has to work. But at the end of the day, like it just could not work. You know what I mean?
Sometimes
Like
it
it just
doesn't.
did not. And so yeah, so I went through all these testings and I'm just like, oh my God, this is a lot. This doctor ended up doing a histogram, I think that's what it's called, something like
Oh,
that.
hysteroscopy?
Hysterectomy, yeah, where you check your ovaries, see if they're your fallopian tubes are open.
Yeah.
Come to find out that one of mine was closed.
Oh,
So was it closed all the time or was it closed just that day? We don't know. But she was like, let's just cut out the middle, not do an IUI and go straight to IVF because this could be a possibility of
right.
something that can hinder you from getting pregnant. And I
Right.
was like, well, thank you. That's good to know.
Wish I had known that before.
Exactly. And it was that considered me infertile, if you will, like as an infertile. So which helped me from an insurance perspective and all that other things. So I was able to get it, the IVF,
Approved.
through
Yeah.
my insurance first versus paying just out of pocket to do it. That's why I ended up getting IVF, no more IUIs, because of my closed fallopian tube. And again, we
Okay.
don't know. It may still be open, it may be closed, we don't know. But it was just
Right.
like at that day, it was closed, so we were able to move forward.
IVF. How many
Yeah.
rounds did you do?
I just did one.
Oh, lucky round.
Yeah.
Now, so did you get pregnant from the same
Yep.
embryos?
Embryos. Yeah.
Both
So
times.
yeah, I got
Oh,
pregnant. So
wow.
I did my IVF. It was around Thanksgiving, I know, because I was doing all the hormones and everything, and I was cooking dinner for Thanksgiving, and I've never been, why did I do this? So I was like hot flashes on all the medicine, but I was doing my egg retrieval right after Thanksgiving, and never again. But I'll never forget. So it was 2021. I went into the clinic to do my egg retrieval and I feel bad now saying it, but the nurse was like, oh, is this your first IVF? And I'm like, I hope it's the last one. And I know there are some women who have to do this multiple times. And it's
Yeah.
just how intense it was, how I just was bloated, all the things. And so
Yeah.
I was like, I really hope I don't have to do this ever again. I had a good amount of eggs, about 40 something eggs. Yeah, even the doctor was like, we didn't realize that there were many in there. I just like ballooned. I felt the pressure, but I had so many eggs in there and I ended up fertilizing half of them and then freezing the other half because she was
Oh
like,
my
do you want
gosh.
us to do all of them? Like she gave me the option after I came out and I said, yeah, let's freeze. Yeah, half of them. That sounds like a good idea. So
Just in
out of
case.
like
Yeah.
yeah, just in case. And my thought was like, okay, I have my one kid by 35, and then say I meet someone in the next year or two, and then if they want to have a kid, like I got eggs ready to go. You know what I mean? And so I fertilized, and out of those 20, it was like 20 something. I only got three embryos. The ratios, all that stuff, the numbers, you just don't know what you're gonna get, right?
You
So
really don't.
yeah, and so it was like each day I was watching and I would get the update and I kept losing some and I was like, oh no. And finally got three embryos and then I had to wait until the new year because the clinics closed at December or whatever. So had to wait. I did a frozen transfer in January and I told them the three and I said, okay, just put in whatever one I have more of the same sex stuff. They were like, okay, but don't tell me what it is. Like, just do
Yeah.
it. 'Cause I wanted to be surprised. So obviously I had two girls and a boy. And yeah, girl. But yeah, I got pregnant though. That transfer the first
That's
time.
amazing.
Yeah. And then got pregnant on this transfer
First time.
first time. Yep.
Wow. It gives you
Yeah.
a new perspective, though, back to what you saying about, you hope to never have to go through that process again. It gives you a new perspective of the women that have done
Mhm.
this for years, for
Yeah.
cycles, for
Mhm.
years. Your heart goes out to them
Yeah. Like
because
truly.
it is a very draining process, emotionally, physically, all of it.
All of the above. Yeah. And that's why even when I do tell my story, I'm always like, you did it on the first time. Like, I'm happy, like for me. But also I am very empathetic, sympathetic, all the things to the women that I know they've done this probably more times than they even want to. And so
Yeah.
they are strong to do it because I don't know if I would have had it in me truly to have to go through it again and again.
Multiple.
Very, very blessed that I got pregnant. And if I didn't get pregnant this year, then I would have been one and done. I was
Mm.
like, I just don't, I didn't want the big gap either between the
Yeah.
age and them being siblings. And I also just didn't, like I said, I don't want to be 40 popping out a kid. So,
Yeah. Which I get that.
yeah.
Um, Is there anything that you, looking back on the first clinic that you had chosen and then moving to the second clinic, is there any recommendations that you would give to the listeners out there about choosing a clinic and making sure that the clinics offer some sort of testing or whatever it
Yeah.
might be?
I mean, I think, obviously just doing your research, right? Do your own research, all the clinics. I feel like I just kind of saw the shiny new one and just went in, right? Thinking this is cool and great without really doing my own thorough like research and understanding like what is their success rate? What is their policies and procedures in leading up to an IUI or IVF? Like what is that process? But again, it's all new, so I didn't know
Yeah.
and advocating for yourself too, right? Knowing that you may have a history of X, Y, and Z and making sure they know about this and will this be a complication? And like I have Crohn's disease and what about that? Like the medicine that I take for this and just like all these
Yeah.
little things that some people will just kind of not think about. And so I think for me, tips is like really looking at their process in the lead up to each, procedure, understanding because each clinic, which I now, I look and I'm like, okay, some clinics like to go this route if you have this, and some clinics like to go that route if you have that. And so just understanding, obviously it's always a personal decision,
Yeah.
what's best for you and your family, then you think about the pricing that
Yeah.
factored into it. And I just think getting all that information, laying it out, and then understanding, okay, which will be the best path for us. And then two is just finding a doctor that you really like. I
That you
mean,
trust. Yeah.
that you trust. Yeah. And
Mhm.
like I wholeheartedly trusted, when another thing is too, is a woman of color who I end up being my doctor. And I just felt, okay, she looks like me. She understands me. She
Yeah.
gets it. Like it was like this just instant bond and we were just sort of laughing. She's just a great lady. And so like
Aw.
that too, that's another huge component of choosing your clinic and your
Yeah.
doctor and just like that representation, and just feeling and being heard and seen like when you voice
Exactly.
anything because they do this all day, every day.
They do.
They spit it all out and it's Charlie Brown to you. And so if you have to ask the same question in a different way, but they will answer it so that you are understanding it, that's what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want someone that's going to be patient and make sure that you have that clarity at the end of the day, no matter how many times you ask the question. I think that is very, very important in choosing.
I love that advice. And it's really important going into this because I think, like you said, we don't know much, especially our first rounds of going
Yeah,
through any of this. We don't know what we're doing. We're just kind of following the lead of our doctor. And we have to really put trust in them that this is going to help us to be successful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And just knowing the risks and
Yes.
opportunities in every, like you said, it all out because there's risk in everything.
Right.
And in this clinic that I went to, each time they were like, this just might not work. This
Yeah.
just might not, but that's the reality of it. So, yeah, and that, again, helps you stay kind of like, okay, understand, but they have a plan for, plan B, plan C, plan, if it doesn't.
Exactly. Well, let's switch gears for a second and talk a little bit about your support system. Even though I understand family wasn't as supportive as you would have hoped for, your friends had really showed up for you throughout the journey of having your first daughter. How did their support make a difference during your fertility journey and then also your postpartum?
Yeah, no, friends are just family, as I like to call them.
Yeah, I love that.
You have your family who these are strangers that you meet and they are people that you can't live without. It's just the most amazing thing, right? I think for me, family was so like, oh, you can do by yourself. You don't have a husband. Like, it's so conservative and traditional in that way. My friends were like, hell yeah, this is awesome. Like, let's do it. And I think everyone was just like, tell me what you need. Like, and at that point, I don't know what I need. It's my first time doing it.
Right?
Just saying that and being there and having them come over and check in and when I had my first baby shower, I mean, it was so overwhelming how many people showed up and they had everything and it just was like, this is all meant to be. Yes, it's going to be challenging. Yes, it's going to be hard, but that's parenthood. That's just what it is. But they showed up in more ways than I can ever be so grateful for. I don't even know I can ever. I think I constantly want to be like, oh, how can I repay them? But I can't, because they just superseded all what I thought I needed or didn't need or whatever. But it was just the check-ins. It was the bringing the food, taking my kid out for a couple hours so I can take a nap, just coming over just to hang, like not even needing to do anything, just to spend time. Time is something that for me, I think is so important. What kills me, and we'll come back to this, but like even certain family members will come over or something and try to hang out with my daughter and be shocked that they're not running up and giving her a hug, or giving them a hug. And she doesn't know who you are. You're a stranger to her. You're not showing here up here every day. She doesn't
Right.
know who you are. Like she may hear your voice on the phone or see your picture, or maybe see you once a year, but like you're not a constant, especially with littles, like they need repetition. They need to
Yep.
know these people. And so
You're a
with all
stranger.
you're a stranger. Like, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Like, it's
Mhm.
not to hurt your feelings, but it's literally cold, hard facts. She does
Right.
not know who you are.
Yeah.
And so with my friends, she runs up. Everyone's an auntie, but then
That's so
she'll
cute.
get over. It's like, oh, there's Aunt who, whoever, and they're all my friends, but she calls them Auntie who or Auntie whoever. And so
Oh,
she goes up and gets some hugs and it's like, well, where is it? Or asks to see them. And so because they just spend time with her, like they
yes.
come over and hang out, or we go out and go to museums, go to parks, get lunch, little everyday things, but they're there. And I
Mhm.
really love that with my community. They're not distant. It's not like, oh, we'll get together once a quarter. You know what I mean? We see each other within the weeks, and if things start getting busy, I'm like, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Let me just come over, hang out, let's get some dinner,
Aw.
so, and
Yeah.
life, right? Everyone's busy. So it's very
True.
important to like try to keep that. And I am just someone who's all like super community oriented and like, you know, walk by your house. Oh, hey, drop in, say hi. I made some extra cookies. Do you want some? Just those little things go such a long way.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's showing up for me, but also showing up for my daughter. She feels like she has this like community as well.
Yeah.
And my daughter right now, she's just a social butterfly. Across the board, everyone wants to do a play date with her. We have play dates every weekend. And great. I mean, she's just the little life of the party, and everyone wants to go hang out with her. And I love that. Right now, I'm like, we gotta pace them out. I was like, Mom is tired, but
Mm,
yeah, it's just the community that she's building is so cute, and like I'm trying to like just encourage it. A mom, you'll send an email or something, or they want to connect. I'm like, sure, that's her building her own little relationship. So, and
yeah.
then it's just been really awesome that I've been able to like make the mom friends through her making friends at school. And
That's
so
adorable.
yeah, it's the cutest little thing. And so like I get a kick out of it because she just has friends for days. So when they're so young, you're like, do you even know what friends like really mean? And it's just like it's really this like organic, very human thing that she's able to just connect with people without having like dialogue. Like we're talking and we can say, hey, oh, I'm into this, I'm into that movie or whatever. But
Right.
hers, there's just so um innocent, right? I want to play with that stick. Okay, you're gonna play with me, and then like they're instant friends, right? It's this beautiful
Bessie's
thing.
for life.
Yeah. So having that community with her school and me making some mom friends like from mommy and me classes and stuff, and obviously my friends that I've had over the years, everyone has just been so great and love and dote on her and this one coming too. I just very, very happy and grateful for the circle that I am in. Mhm.
And she gets to show off her baby sister to all of her amazing friends once
Oh,
she's
yeah.
here.
Exactly, which I know she will, like, you hear like, that's my baby sister. Like, I can just hear her saying it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, here, look at her. She's so cute,
Yeah.
isn't she?
She's like, well, it's mine. That's her. I know she's like, no, she's mine. I can just hear her saying everything's mine. So yeah, so very excited to have our girl gang, as I like to call,
Oh,
and keep growing the community because I know this one will make her own friends and it's just going to get expanded. It's very, very exciting and we're just happy. Yeah, I just, life is good. There are the challenges and I wish I had the extra hands and the help and support in that intimate way with a partner, but that's all right. It's another day, another time. He's out there.
but there are some families where even with that partner, they don't have that
Exactly.
help that
Yeah.
we are looking for. Yeah.
I did see something. It was a married single mom, and it
Yep.
was like they just do everything, and the husband's just there. And I think about that too. I have some friends that have some significant others that are, not the best, but and I wouldn't, kids pick up on that energy, right? Like,
They really do.
and even with my, family, I've seen it and some parts of it, and it's like, yeah, I'd rather just do it alone and not have that negative, vibes, because kids know, they know. So I'd rather grow up in a
Yep.
happy, just environment versus that tension.
Yeah. And we get to make all the decisions without having that other party there to sort of combat the decision that we're making or our kids going to them and being like, well, mom said no. So, like, can you
Exactly.
say yes?
Exactly. And or they know who to go to,
Yep. I
for
used to
what.
do that.
Yeah, so none of that, at least for right now.
Yeah.
So I'm very, obviously it's a lot to make the decisions for sure. And I think the one thing that I mourned, like, just bouncing off like in the moment, right? Like, oh gosh, should we do this or should we do that with but that's like, hey, like I can text my mom friends, get in the group chat. What are you moms doing when this happens or whatever? So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just it has its pros and its cons to it, but I think the pros do outweigh the
Yeah.
cons in those decision making areas.
And community is so important. Our village, the community in which we raise our kids, it's very important.
Yeah.
Which leads me to how do you approach raising your daughters in a world where there's just so much uncertainty?
I know, I know. I was talking to a friend this morning who lives in London. We check in and we had our little quarterly Zoom call, and obviously politics are different there than they are here. There are, and I told her it is so hard as a parent to just like, okay, I'm going to bring another human in this world and another crazy thing is going to happen. But that is just the world, right? And I
Yeah.
think it's just most important that we just continue and do my darndest just to raise a good human, raise them to be good and kind and also educate them on all sides of the story. I think that's where things, when you don't expose them
It's very
to
narrow-minded.
yes,
Mm.
I want them to know. And they get older, they're gonna have their own opinions about whatever, and that's fine. But I don't want to. I want to do all I can so you have a full view of what's what, and you can understand and lead with understand, okay, well, I can understand why this person believes in this for X whatever reasons, right? I think that's where I feel like I want to navigate raising them and just exposing them and letting them know, but like, this is how we do things, this is what I believe in. You may change your mind when you're older. I don't know, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, like we want to treat people with utmost kindness, that golden rule, and just lead with compassion and understanding in everything that we do, but also raising the girls not to take any,
Crap. Yeah.
exactly. Like you need to stand firm on what you believe in, what you want, and don't let anyone step over you because you are confident. Like I want to build their confidence to the highest. I want them to believe in themselves and and have, know that I am there supporting them 100 and like 50%. You know what I mean? So I
And
think
that
the
they're capable of doing anything and being anything.
anything. Like I want them, she came home, they're like, oh, I want to run for mayor. Okay, sure, let's do it. I'll start making the signs. Like, you know what I
Make that
mean?
call. Yeah.
I got you. Like, yeah, like I want them to not be afraid to try because you just never know what's going to come out of it, right?
You really
Like,
don't.
you have to go out there and try, and then you can say, okay, well, I did it, and if it didn't work, that's okay. And then what's your next plan? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, not being afraid, having that confidence, and just being curious too. Like I want to teach them curiosity so they can learn, and like you said, kind of back to that narrow-mindedness. Like I don't want them to be like siloed and only this is one way, black and white. I want them to see all the colors and be able to be a part of all that. And yeah, so the world is, you wake up and you're like, what fresh hell do we got today? But we're gonna navigate through it. And at the end of the day, it's how you treat others and make them feel, and like just vice versa. I always hope to go outside, and I always pray, like thinking, okay, how can I be a blessing to someone else? How can I help someone else, even though I may have limited means? But like I just want to be able to like, and for me, that like goes back to like community, right? It's just
Yeah.
expanding and reaching out and knowing like, hey, I'm someone you can call on and reach out to. And I want that for my girls, for my girls. Like I said,
Aw,
girl gang, be strong.
100%.
Yes, yeah.
How do you define success and happiness in motherhood?
I mean, yeah, all of it today. I'm so happy and so feeling like thriving. Like it's hard to define it because it's so different for everyone. But I think for me today, like, I mean, it's the little things, right? Like I look at the macro and the micro of motherhood and all the things I got through, whatever tantrum, still got dinner on the table, bills are paid, you know what I mean? Like those little things
Oh, the small wins.
are
Yeah.
so like big wins, right? Like
Mhm.
huge wins in my like every little day. And so I just really just count and just be so grateful for all of them, and then seeing how happy my daughter is. Like she's the happiest little thing in the whole entire world, and I'm sure every mom will say that. But like truly she's just so happy. I know it's because of the world and environment and community that I built around her, and expose her to. And it can be simple, going to the park and going to the beach. Like we had a couple hot days like 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, I took her to the beach, time of her life. She couldn't tell her anything. And it was the most simple thing. I didn't even bring a bathing suit. Let's just go to the beach and cool off. And she was just so ecstatic, and she just so happy and just playing in the sand. We were just playing and make believe. And so that right there is like success. That is happiness. We're thriving. She's in good health. I'm in good health. And it's just those little memories, because kind of bringing it back, I didn't have that with my parents. And for me, I'm all about traditions too. I want to keep up with us. Every Christmas we do this. Every Halloween we're already talking about her costume, and I want her to know, oh, I did this with my mom on
Yeah.
Fridays, or I did this with my mom. I want that for her, and I do a very good job um keeping up those traditions. And so that right there is crucial, because I want to build those core memories for her. I want her to
Yeah.
have core memories with my mom. I want her to be able to be older and say, hey, yeah, me and my mom, that's like one of my favorite pastimes with her, cooking cookies at this time of the
Mhm.
year, whatever it may be. So for me, that is like, I'm doing my job. That's what I want. Yeah.
And hopefully she can carry that through, both of them. Both your girls can carry that through to their families as well in the
Exactly.
future.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
started new traditions for
Mhm.
all the generations to come.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
always traditions, and everyone has different interests, and I just want to encourage it and like say she wants to go see a science exhibit and wherever. I'm like, let's go, let's do
Let's
it.
do it. Yep.
Anything. I just want to support, and because I just again I didn't have that. I did not like. I cheered and competitively for many many years, and my parents were at not one competition.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, I'm
Um,
so sorry.
and it's okay, but like this comes back to me just saying it. I just had to do what I had to do, but that was my passion, and I want to support my daughter's passions. Like I don't care what it is, but you better believe I will be front row. I will be the cheer mom, pun intended. I will
You're
be that cheer.
breaking the cycle, which I love
Yeah,
that. And I
yeah.
think that they say that too. There's some sort of quote about, doing better than the generations before you.
Oh yeah, 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 for
Mhm.
sure. As a
Mhm.
millennial, we're definitely breaking down those
Barriers.
barriers.
Yeah.
And yeah, for sure. So as elder millennial, as we are called, yeah. So, old. Um,
Geriatric moms.
it's like, I'll take it. I will be a millennial. I'm so proud of it. We've lived through so much, and for me to
Yes.
come out of this and have my daughters and just have the life we're living, I'm just so fortunate. Yeah. Mhm.
One of the last questions that I have for you, Marquita, is what do you hope your daughters will remember about the way that you built your family?
Oh, what will have them remember? I mean, she hasn't asked about a dad, or she knows people have mommies and daddies, both. I just hope that there is no resentment when they get older. Because again, I'm building this community. I mean, she's around men and that she sees those nuclear units, but she also sees different other, like I said, kind of talking about just being exposed to all different forms of family. And so I'm not worried. I don't think it's going to be an issue with her, but obviously we don't know. But like, I don't want her to have any, or both of them, to have any resentment towards me. But I want them to understand I wanted to be your mom, your mom. I wanted this. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be a mother outside of just playing, oh, I just happened to get pregnant, or this is all deliberate. This is all planned. I want you to know your purpose. You truly are here for a reason. Understanding this was without any, oh, we'll see about it. No, it was like, no, I wanted to be your mom. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to raise you in a safe environment and do all these things with you. I hope that they will understand and always feel that and know they're special in that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where not to say married couples, everyone like they want their kids, but just to really feel that more on a deeper level and just, be like, I'm cool. I just got my mama. Like, that's it, Like, that's
My
my
mom's
mom.
a badass.
I just want them to know that and just, go with it and just be happy and with just the mom. And, I just don't want them to feel like they're lacking anything. I think that's kind of what it is. Like, just because you don't have a dad doesn't mean that you can't have everything else. So that's the kind of goes back to the community and just bringing in so that they can, there may be this need to want to do things. And I just have certain people in my community that can feed and give her what she may need, both of them what they may need growing up. So I think that kind of in the nutshell is what my legacy for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm understanding like where you might be lacking in something, your community, other members of your community will be able to fill that gap for them so that they don't
Yeah.
feel like they were, I don't want to say shorted, but in a way, sort of like shorted for
Yeah, I don't want them to
whatever it
feel
might be.
no, that's totally like right on point there. I don't want them to feel shorted, lack of in any kind of area. And I will, like I said, I will soccer, basketball, wherever they may be. I'm going to be front row and embarrassing them that that's my girl, like whatever. So, yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to the listeners as your final comments here in this episode?
Oh, famous last words.
Yeah.
If anyone's thinking about it and they're still noodling, if I just felt like you gotta try, like do your research and just try. If you really want it, you'll make it happen. And I think that is something where some people go back and forth. And I'm like, if you get all your facts, all your research, all your information, you can make a decision. And for me, the most rewarding thing that I could ever done outside of just doing it myself, but also being just a parent. Like I love being a parent. Like I love being a mom. I love it's the late nights, the early mornings, but all that stuff, it gives me so much purpose. I am a person that likes to do for other people, and I just imagine if I was still single and just myself, like I don't like I just would be
You don't know where
bored.
you'd be. Yeah.
I don't know where I'd be. I have no idea where I'd be. They are my whole world, but I still have my identity. I still go out and go to my concerts, go to my movies and whatever I'm doing. And I just feel some people have this like, oh, once you become a parent, there goes your life. My life has just been boosted tons of thousand. Like life is so great at it with kids and just having that extra love and knowing that they love you. I'm all she knows and she loves me so much and like obsessed with me. It's just crazy. This little person just like loves me without any questions, unconditional.
Yeah.
So I just think if you're searching for that, you want that, parent motherhood is the way to go.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. It is the best feeling in the world to just come home to a little one who does nothing but love you for who you are. Yeah.
Is that for you?
Yeah. You're their whole world.
Whole entire world. So I'm there and just hearing their laughter, hearing their little feet pitter patter. I mean, just all the little things. Like it's just the sweetest like feeling. It's indescribable, honestly. You just have to go through
Yeah.
it to really understand. But I mean,
You really
great.
do.
Yeah, and like I mean, I miss her. I drop her off at school. It's like the thing. I'm like, oh, get over there, and then I'm like, oh, I miss her. Like, let me go pick her up early. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And, you go through that. Even just being away, I'm getting anxious being away from her when I give birth for probably 2 maybe 3 days, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be okay. But kids are so resilient and adaptable, but that love will
Yeah.
still be so strong. Yeah. So.
Completely. Thank
Mhm.
you so much, Marquita.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed this conversation. Um,
Yeah, Laura, it's
and
been
best
awesome.
of luck to you on baby number 2.
Oh, I know, it's wild. And yeah, here I am, second round. Like, who wouldn't thunk it? I would never. It's great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time to hear my
Thank
story.
you.
And yeah, all the best with you too.
Sounds good. I appreciate it and keep us posted on baby girl number 2.
I shall.
All right. Marquita's story is a beautiful reminder that while fertility paths are rarely straightforward, the right support can make all of the difference. Whether it's shifting clinics, seeking out a provider that you can connect more closely with, or leaning on your community in unexpected ways, your village is out there. Trust me, even if it looks a little different than you had first imagined. As Marquita shared, sometimes we simply choose the chaos because within that chaos comes the deepest joy and growth of all. We are so grateful she shared her time and wisdom with us, especially as she prepares to welcome her newest little one into her family. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow along on TikTok, Instagram, and Patreon for more and for glimpses into my journey. We're cheering Marquita on as she enters this new chapter with her growing family, and we hope her words encourage you to find the support and trust that you deserve on this path. Until next time.